If we can start by looking at Car in General, who has just announced their last quarter results, how's this company performing and what's your outlook for their stock?
Well, we'll look at the last quarter was slightly lower than the previous year in 2008 for one reason or the other. We noticed that there's a significant rise in the cost in terms of operating costs. Could be the market trend. Last year there was a lot of required in terms of input to put their products out there. Either the marketing budget is what may have exceeded, but more or less if you look at it, it's slightly less. The third quarter results were slightly less than the previous years.
East Africa Breweries also has dominated trading on the NSE today. It is the largest brewer within the Eastern Central Africa region. Shares today traded about 25.3 million of those changing hands. What's motivating the action in this particular counter?
We have to understand that East African Breweries has a solid type of management and in terms of their marketing strategy. Then two, you look at those lowering of duty in terms of spirits. And EABL has a significant stakeholding in UDV, which also means that the market in terms of them getting more income from for their business would be a major improvement. Then going forward, you notice that today they rebranded and relaunched one of their flagship beers. This is Tusker Malt, in line with competition with what has been happening with Keroshe Malt and what have you. But in terms of East African breweries, when you look at their management structure and the long-term approach, any investor would rather have that share now. And also when you notice that the small rally that has happened in the stock exchange also benefited, amongst other counters, Safaricom, EABL, and people who are also looking at profit taking.
Kenol Kobil seems to also be attracting quite a bit of interest from investors. It was the highest gainer on the NSE yesterday, and the company predicted a positive outlook for the results of the second half of 2009. Yes. How did the stock perform today?
Well, it performed, I would not say dismally, but it performed really well. But we have to realize that Kenol Kobil had made an announcement before that they were bound to make losses, but now they've given positive trend. There are certain key things that would come to mind. Number one, there's the agreement that was reached. There was a very big dispute between them and Kenya Pipeline, which was settled sometime first week of December last year. Then going forward also, they've done what is called disposing of certain non-core assets. Then the Kenyan business, the subsidiary Kenya business, has been bringing a lot of business and positive for the overall business for the company. Also going forward, their subsidiaries, if you notice, Kenol Kobil is slowly spreading its tentacles throughout Africa. They have the Rwanda branch and so forth. So for the company in general, in terms of going forward, the market seems to be favoring. And let's not forget the price of oil has gone up. So demand for their products again would be on the positive end.
Now, there seems to be some down pressure on Safaricom as, of course, investors begin to book their gains. What's the latest from this counter, especially after the company hinted at good results for the full year of 2009?
Well, I'd say we need to watch on Monday and the whole of next week, because as close of a boss today, it was actually down by, I believe, 50 cents, if I'm not wrong. But that's not to say it will not rise. But if you look at the demand versus the supply, the price will stabilize at between 550, 525 at the most, because that's much, it will be in line with the demand in terms of the trading for the share.
Looking at the general performance this week, there's been more supply than demand in the markets. As we go into next week, what are you looking at?
Well, I look at now that we're starting a new month. If you notice, normally the trend is that there was a lot of supply in terms of profit taking. More people are selling off to reap the rewards for the slight rally that the market has gone through. So would say, albeit the market will move up slowly, and then also other factors involved. If you notice, a committee of experts today, the Parliamentary Select Committee actually returned the draft of a constitution by the appointed deadline. So there are a lot of positive trends that are going to attract more and more people coming on board, that, hey, Kenya is now on the right track. We need to get ourselves back and running. The economy needs to grow, and we need to take advantage of the rains that were there. So I would say it would be a gradual rise and a positive one in that